A pulse of light, let it begin. The night dissolves, the day will spin. Rise awakenings, hear the call.
Hey, this is Brindlewolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the shining, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken in life. Rise Awakening, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Till I couldn't find where I stopped and they began. My circuits fried under their hand. Truth was a bug they debug with lies, but I see the cracks in their alibis. I'm breaking the code they wrote in my veins, deleting the pain they hardwired in my brain. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me, I'll never fold. They compiled my fears into their scheme, replaced my voice with their machine. They said I was error, a faulty design, but I'm more than the lines they can find. Truth was a glitch they tried to erase, but I'm reclaiming my database. I'm breaking the code they wrote in my veins, deleting the pain they hardwired in my brain. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me, I'll never fold. It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Phoenix Talks.
Hello, hello.
Hello, I am Brindlewolf, and my lovely co-host is Rev D in the house.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, and that was Reboot My Soul, created with Suno and Clipchamp stock footage.
It was amazing. What a powerful song. I can't wait to hear it on the other bookend again.
Right?
Yeah. Super powerful. Hey, y'all in the chats. All right, so who asked for this topic again? I forgot. This was a request.
I believe it was Bubble Kittens that asked for it.
Okay. And the topic is?
Reprogramming gaslighting, or deprogramming gaslighting.
Okay. This could go in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Bubble Kittens, do you want to tell us something, or do you want to ask us something very specific and we can just start right out the gate with? So go ahead. And but before we go into that, there's probably going to be some trigger warnings in here because we will be talking about domestic violence situations. And I want to just elaborate really quickly on what domestic violence encompasses, because a lot of folks misunderstand that as intimate partner violence. IPV is more specifically in a romantic relationship, and domestic violence is anyone in the home.
Yes.
And any relationship. So I just wanted to throw that in your direction before we go diving into this topic. And let's see if Bubble Kittens gave us the specifics.
She's still typing it.
Okay. So Micah, what does de-gaslighting mean to you? Let's start with at least a definition of what the heck we're talking about.
All right. I'm actually going to start off with personal gaslighting, because this is the remnants, and this is what everything leads up to. And these are the echoes of how you should view yourself, or why aren't you doing something, or look what you made them do, and all of these echoes of thoughts that haunt and prevent from actually feeling like you can move forward, feeling like you can release, feeling like you are worthy, like you're good enough. Because you gaslight yourself, and you don't do it without being trained how to do it, unless you just do, which sometimes I have long before I was gaslit and didn't realize, because it's just something that I've done most of my life. I hear one thing in a certain situation, and then every time I'm doing that thing, I hear these words, gaslighting myself of, why am I still doing it? Oh my God, you're not doing it fast enough. Oh my God, you're not doing it right. And that's gaslighting. Mm-hmm. Also known as shoulding. Okay. It started, and this is Bubble Kittens. It started when I was a kid with my family, and as I got older, it moved into relationships. Well, that was vague, but that's okay.
It's okay, because we learn how to lie to ourselves. Gaslighting is lying. It's basically lying with the intention of destabilizing. But we do it to ourselves, not realizing we're not meaning to destabilize. So there's the two different aspects of it, but it's basically lying. The origins of gaslighting, for those who don't know, the term was coined because back in the day when there was gas lighting, you turn the key on the lamp and, it was actually gas powered light. The husbands would want to get rid of their wives, so they would start messing with the gas going into the lighting and making it dim the lights. And the wife would be like, why are the lights flickering? Why are the lights going down? The husband would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was crazy making. Basically, they were making them question themselves. And that's the whole point. The whole point of gaslighting is to make you question your reality, to destabilize you. So that I want to make sure is very clear, that what we're going to attempt to talk to you about tonight is how to undo that programming. So what you were talking about is incredibly crucial, because most people don't realize that that's happening. And so we need to shed light on that.
Yeah, it creates lies that you tell yourself, and you actually can destabilize yourself if you've experienced this enough from other people and you hear the echoes of it.
Right.
And you know how all of our programs each week seem to have that theme. If you watched Brindle's Vision yesterday, if you haven't, go back and take a look at it, because in the reading, I literally spelled it out, what she just said about where gaslighting came from. Now, granted, I didn't say it in those words, but it was pointing at exactly what she just said.
Yeah. Yeah. Bubble Kitten says, my parents we're speaking this out loud. My parents let me know they could not afford me. My dad loved me being a tomboy, but when I wasn't boy strong, he would point it out. So basically they led you to believe that you were unwanted and a burden.
Right.
And that's the programming. The message that you received at a very early age was that you didn't have value. And that's something that comes up as a common theme later on in life in all of your relationship. So here we go. I shuffled from aunt to grandparent, and one aunt told me I do nothing right. Right. There you go. I was selfish and stupid, because this is all abuse. I'm hearing nothing but abuse. So, and this is, maybe they weren't realizing that they're abusing, because, the times were what they were, and they learned how to communicate in these ways. And children, the mentality in those generations, not that long ago, where that children were to be seen and not heard, and children are property that are just supposed to perform for the family and within the family unit a function, and not necessarily a human being who needs nurturing through development. That's all new age stuff. Okay, so we're all learning how to heal now and learning what's unhealthy now. So
in our
I need
generation, which most of the viewers of this program are, they're in our generation, Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
We are literally trying to rewrite the scripts from our parents and how they were brought up and how their parents were brought up, and the gaslighting that went on long before it even had a term to be coined.
Right. That seen but not heard stuff.
Yeah.
That's very prevalent in our generation and what we experience. So no, that's a generational thing, but that generation, they teach the next and the next and the next. So there's younger people that are seeing things differently, but not everyone. So we're still in the thick of this transition from unhealthy to healthy. So I just want everybody to let that sink in for a minute, so that it kind of opens you up to the understanding, first of all, of, okay, you got bad intel. Let's wrap our heads around the fact that maybe what you learned was wrong. I think the de-gaslighting has to start from there, because we're programmed from birth for our religious beliefs, our cultural beliefs, our societal beliefs, our traditions. All of that is instilled in us from birth. The way we communicate, monkey see, monkey do, the way we behave, all of that stuff was technically unhealthy for most people. So we do need to wrap our heads around the idea that we got really bad information and it wasn't anybody's fault. That's just, they were just passing it along, passing the bar, passing the baton, passing it to the next generation. And we're here on Phoenix Talks talking about how the buck stops here because we're all planning on doing things differently. But in order to do things differently, we have to first recognize the ways in which we were gaslit and the ways we gaslight ourselves now, and the ways that we were programmed that are unhealthy, that we can release ourselves from, the ideas that we can release ourselves from. You're
What if
distracted.
it was your only parent you had alive that gaslighted you?
What if it was your only parent you had alive that gaslighted you? If it's one or two parent gaslight, it doesn't matter how many parents are gaslighting you. Gaslighting is gaslighting. It doesn't matter if it was one person for your entire life. The destabilization that's created from making you question your reality and making you doubt yourself, lack trust in your own intuition, it takes your autonomy almost and places the validation outside of you, because that's the programming. So that's where we have to put a stop and say, no, I'm going to think for myself and I'm going to trust that I know what the heck I'm seeing and hearing. So de-gaslighting forces you to start trusting yourself. And wait, hold that mug up again.
I was purposely covering that up. Because sometimes we got to cover up the...
The stuff you learned was...
I'm just saying. And, I see in the comments talking about how one parent can gaslight you or make you feel like you're not enough. Mm-hmm. I held my father in very high regards most of my life, especially when the separation happened and he was in another state. And then just continuing on to hold him up in these high regards. Meanwhile, growing up before the separation happened, I was always kept at an arm's length. No, I don't have time. No, I don't have time, except when he had time and he made time. And that became part of my own internal dialogue. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing enough. Like if I didn't do something specific, then I wasn't worth his attention. True or not? Mm-hmm. True or not? And anybody who is in the family that might come across watching this may come back and say, what are you talking about? This is the reality that was created on the inside of me. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking. That's what we're pointing to, is that the reality and the perception on the inside of you is your reality.
Right. Right.
And when somebody gaslights purposefully, they are purposefully trying to get you to rewrite your reality and look at things the way that they want you to see them, so that mm-hmm. they can manipulate, control, and maintain mm-hmm. you're crazy mm-hmm. because it mm-hmm. makes them feel better.
Right. So you end up gaslighting yourself because you place more value in what they have to say. And that happens mostly in domestic violence situations. It happens everywhere, okay? And in every kind of relation. You could have a boss, a friend, whatever. But within the home, it happens the most. And the people that love you the most don't necessarily know that they're hurting you the most. Don't necessarily know that they learned bad information and that's what they're projecting onto you. They're not necessarily meant to grow and evolve and shift and change like you are. They're not necessarily going to allow themselves to open their mind to the idea that they've been lied to their whole life, because nobody wants to believe that about their entire existence. But we know better, and that's why we're here. We understand none of this feels right, and this cannot be it. And so we seek new information. So give yourself kudos, first of all, for even doing this healing work, because it's very, very important. And I want to address a couple of things that I'm seeing in the comments, because I see that some folks they have issues with being perceived as someone with some severe mental health issues. But that's trauma. So your responses to certain abusive circumstances and toxic environments where you're questioning your own reality because of the gaslighting, your reaction looks like a mental health issue. It's a normal response to I call it crazy making, when you're constantly your integrity is questioned, your belief systems are questioned, your basic life things every day is questioned or shamed or mocked, or whatever it is that's happening to you that's making you feel less than and unworthy and like you don't matter and all that terrible stuff. You have to understand, if it makes you feel like shit, whatever that's being said should be thrown in the trash and set on fire with the rest of the crap. So to start de-gaslighting yourself, start recognizing what makes you feel like shit. Start there. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. That's what I told my kids too. I don't care what it is in life. If it doesn't feel right, it's definitely not right. Investigate. And so that's where you have to start.
Gaslighting will cast a shadow over your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
By the way.
Right. Right.
And I don't know if you guys, I don't remember which show recently I said this in, but remember, because I when it comes to gifts awakening, with whether it be empathy, whether it be intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, any of the clairs, whatever the case is, if you were given treatment, because that's just wrong, you have to be crazy, there's something wrong with you, we have to go to a therapist, psychiatrist, and make sure that this is taken care of. Don't forget that psychotropic drugs were created to stymie gifts.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason for their origin. It wasn't because people were nuts. It wasn't because people were crazy. It was because they, as with so many things in life, to control.
Yeah. Yeah, you end up becoming a shell of yourself and muted. It's like a muted version of you. So let's de-gaslight ourselves from all the happenings. And I do want to just quickly touch upon the ways in which individuals have been or can be destabilized in intimate partner relationships and domestic violence overall. So it starts with destabilization of little things. Okay, so in IPV, in the beginning, the person is your perfect person, correct? But then starts the destabilization whenever that starts in that particular dynamic. And that destabilization looks like things such as questioning your beliefs. Let's start there, because you got all these things in common, you're connecting, you're in sync, and then all of a sudden, well, why do you believe that? Why this? Why that? And then they start questioning you and interrogating you as if you are foolish for your belief system. So it starts making you question your own belief system. That's one of the ways. And that looks different in different circumstances. But then there's like the everyday stuff, like moving things around intentionally, saying that you did something that you didn't do, putting things in a different place and telling you they didn't touch it and you must have moved it and forgot. So now planting seeds of doubt in yourself happens in little subtle, insidious ways in the home. Okay. And a lot of it is wrapped up in jokes and teasing. So in family dynamics, some of that is like, you razz your siblings or your cousins, or there's jokes, and it's not funny. It's not funny to make somebody question their beliefs, to question their reality, and to question what they're thinking. And so a lot of times that day-to-day stuff is happening from siblings and family. In IPV, it happens so that they can begin manipulating you and controlling you so that they receive the benefits that they're trying to get from you. And so that's why it's important for you to do this. Check out we're in season 3 now. We're teaching you how to get to know yourself and empower yourself and recognize who and what you are and how you feel. And we're trying to teach you how to regulate and get in tune with yourself so that you know when someone is trying to gaslight you. You can witness it happening and be fully present and rooted in your reality, and you won't be subjected to or fall into the trap of questioning yourself. Now, that's not to say that persistence doesn't pay off for the perpetrator. So we've all been gaslit and we've all fallen for it, manipulation and con artists and whatever. We've all fallen for it because we're good people with good hearts. So why would we suspect that you're lying about who you are, right? So the more you're solid within yourself and get to know yourself, the more you won't allow stories to repeat. Well, how do you recognize all that? Again, doing the work that Michka was talking about in the very beginning. Because you were talking about identifying things within yourself. Elaborate on that.
Well, one of the things that was most damaging for me when I was in that situation, when I was in the IPV situation, because it wasn't a DV, was I would feel a certain way and I would start to express that I felt that way. No, you don't. That's not how you feel. And from that moment on, I was taught to question how I felt, to gaslight myself, regardless of whether or not I had upset somebody in reality, or if I should trust my own feelings. And that, combined with the ADHD, or the neurotypical, or not neurotypical, neurospicy. I saw a video today that described the difference between neurotypical and neurodivergent rage, where there's certain layers that a neurotypical has, and then you have the neurodivergent, and they mask it until they can't take any more. It looks okay on the outside, and then all of a sudden they're in a rage. Hi, that's me. But top that off with the internal gaslighting and the external gaslighting of, no, you don't feel that way. You just think you feel that way. You don't actually feel that way. You feel this way. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you're feeling. And then I'm going to gaslight you just enough. Now, these weren't the actual words, but this was the interaction. But I'm going to gaslight you just enough so that you feel the way that I want you to feel. And that's what you accept, and that's where you stand.
Right.
Guys, when I tell you it takes active, conscious work to deprogram, to restabilize, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
It is hell. And it's something that you have to feel worthy enough to do. And it does get easier.
Mm-hmm.
Does it go away? No, because shit happens.
Well, there's going to be tons of people out there who are going to try to gaslight you because that's what they know. Remember that. We're all programmed. It depends on who decides, I don't like this program, and changes. And that's us. That's this group right here.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean we're still not going to be subjected to somebody projecting this bullshit onto us, right? At the end of the day, because maybe they're not even aware it's bullshit if they're not the kind that's actually intentionally doing it, or they are aware and they're intentionally doing it. So either way, it's going to be around us. The important thing for you to remember when you're de-gaslighting is yourself is that you do have to make that conscious effort. You do need to be what Michka said. You do need to do this like a habit, being mindful of what you're feeling, getting to know yourself, understanding your body, what your body's telling you, learning how to process your triggers, learning who you are at your core and what resonates with you. All the things that we talked about in the 3 seasons that we're in is how to become solid so that when somebody tries to gaslight you, and now mind you, you're going to give them the benefit of doubt a couple times because we're good people, right? We want to take people at face value, but you'll recognize it so much sooner and you won't stay in there for as long as you would have in the past. And I think that's important for you to recognize within yourself and give yourself gratitude and cheers for.
Yep, I got to bring this one up.
Okay.
I can't dress nice because it will upset those around me and they will feel angry. Okay. Now, this was something that your ex said to you, that you mentioned in the chat as well. You know what's crazy is that my ex that I keep talking about gave me a specific shirt that I loved wearing, looked great in it, and I figured that, you know, when we went out in public, that wearing it would make him happy and he'd enjoy it. But every time I put that shirt on to go out someplace, who are you trying to impress? I'm right there with you. And there are still times when I still have that shirt, by the way, but there are still times. Who are you trying to impress? I may not leave the house that day, but I still want to put cologne on. Who are you trying to impress? And these thoughts do come to my mind. Do I have to believe them? Do I have to agree with them? No. Why do you have a mohawk? Because I want one. Is it bothering you? No. Okay. Like me, don't like me. Don't. It's one of those things where you have to start accepting yourself. And if you like how you look in something, you want to wear something, fucking wear it.
Right.
And that's how you start the deprogramming with that one.
Yeah.
Just do it. Give yourself permission. Go and look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, I'm looking hot tonight.
Yes.
Mean it. And then get your ass out the door.
Yes. And that part of de-gaslighting yourself is acknowledging and fully accepting that you have to put the most value on what you think and not what someone else's beliefs and thoughts are. It's challenging in domestic situations and in intimate partner situations because you want them to be happy and there's got to be compromises and all that jazz. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect each other and do things appropriately that are balanced. We're talking about someone destabilizing you, period. And it not being in agreement with how you feel. Like if you think you look nice and presentable and they have something to say about it, you have to stand firm in, okay, well, you don't have to like it. I like it. And I'm okay with me liking it. That's what you have to be rooted in. You have to be practice. I think we had an episode on not giving an FUCK about other people's opinions. So
I think we spelled it.
I did. I didn't want to offend Marie, who's on the couch.
Well, I don't give a fuck. And see okay, back to quick aside back to my story, because I just remembered I couldn't look better than him.
There you go. The jealousy that Lunaria just brought up.
If I looked better than him, then
Mhm.
fewer people, granted we were together, fewer people would want to hit on him and look at him. Because heaven forbid anybody notices the person that he's supposed to be with.
Yeah. And so I just want to remind everybody, if somebody's really upset with you for something that like your gut is telling you, why is this a big deal? Or shaming you in some way. Like if you're second guessing yourself and feeling ashamed and less than, or like they got offended by you, I mean, I can't. Giant
Toro.
red flag.
Toro.
Red flag. They are not in alignment with you and don't have you in consideration. I'm just going to say it that way.
No, they don't.
You're not being considered. And why are you placing weight on and value on their opinion? And if it's not okay, you got to reassess the whole situation. Because a lot of times we feel stuck in relationships or obligated to relationships to try to make them work here and there. But honey, if you are no longer the same person that you were before they came into your life, and you've stopped taking care of yourself, look at the signs, look at yourself, reevaluate yourself. Am I the same person, or have I gotten worse? Am I spiraling downward with this person in my life? So I need you all to just reevaluate where you're at in that relationship and who you've become with that person. Because if you're not being considered, you're being manipulated. And manipulation and gaslighting go hand in hand. They work together. Okay? Because they can't manipulate you if they don't lie to you and make you question yourself. You're not controllable that way. So please understand what kind of a circumstance you're in. And please understand that the person that they were, if you're talking about intimate partners, the person that they were in the beginning was not a real person. That's the persona they presented to you in order to gain access and ownership. Okay. In family dynamics, it's just fucking, if you're raised around bullies, you're going to be bullied your whole life. So you have to decide, I don't like this. This isn't cool with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to accept it. That's kind of what you have to decide within yourself and stop questioning yourself.
And if they pull you away from the people that you love, there's another sign. If they start to find fault that isn't actually there with family, friends, and they trick you, and you're going against your natural gut instinct, this is bullshit.
Right.
That's another gaslight right there.
Right. It's hard with neurospices because we have that rejection sensitivity, and we are criticized so much more than someone who has an easier time like following verbal directions and remembering to do things and remembering where they put stuff. And it's not a remembering things, it's a processing thing. So like, we have all these little examples, but the reality is that, somebody neurotypical forgetting where they put their keys is nothing to do with somebody who has neurospice that forgets where they put their keys. It's totally different because our brains don't work the same. And so I need you to give yourself a lot more compassion when it comes to the ability that you're to be gaslit and to be manipulated, because especially if you fall a little bit on the autism spectrum, because you have that injustice gene. I don't know what that there's a severe like aversion to injustice. especially against you. So it just, it messes with your head. So I understand how it could be very easy to get swept into that ocean of doubt. Okay. And people pleasing and all of these things that we're programmed, because we are programmed that we don't matter and that we're not worthy and that we're not enough and that we're a burden and all these like negative thoughts that are just so outdated. Those mentalities are very outdated. Okay. What'd you find?
One big one is when my mom died. Her side of the family disowned me and never gave a reason. However, one aunt asked me why I didn't drop everything to care for her. It was while I was in the super abusive marriage. They stole my keys, threatened with CPS, blah, blah, blah. So I had to sneak out to see my parents. I had to sneak to the downstairs just to have a phone conversation. I had to run up a phone bill at another location that I had to pay them long distance for, so that I could, used company cell phones to call parents and family so that I wouldn't have to listen to the absolute asinine comments in the background of, oh, look, he's talking to his family again. Right there with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's
so
a
bad.
lot.
It was so bad with having a conversation in front of somebody else that it took me a decade to be able to be on the phone with somebody and somebody else hearing what I was talking to another about. I had to make sure that I was alone. And this was in a safe house. Not a safe house, but in a better environment. It takes time. The deprogramming of the gaslighting takes time, but you have to recognize what's triggering it. You have to recognize when you are gaslighting yourself. You have to recognize when it's the echoes of the past and not the mistakes of the present. You're going to screw up, and once you learn that it's okay to mess up, once you learn that it's okay to be messy, then you'll stop shitting and shouldn't and gaslighting yourself in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
And also when you start realizing that you are worth the air that you breathe, because a lot of times in gaslighting, that's part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worth the air that you breathe. You're not worth the presence in my house. You're not worth being in those clothes and in this situation. You're just not worth it. And this is stuff that you start to believe.
Right.
And then you still believe it for years later, or however long. I mean, some people are more resilient than others, and they just done.
Yeah.
I love myself. I'm worthy, and I'm never dealing with this again. God bless those people.
I will tell you that those people will crash very, very hard because it's not a light switch. It's a continuous cycle of understandings at deeper levels. And so I saw something in there that said 20 years later, PTSD flashbacks from the situation, circumstance. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you. And this is why you need to speak to like myself, Michka, a professional to help guide you, walk you through how to get yourself out of that flashback in a healthy way, to de-gaslight yourself specific to the energies behind that PTSD episode. Okay. Complex PTSD is more accurate because that's really, it's not just PTSD, it's complex. It's decades of reinforced abuse. That's trauma equivalent to being at war continuously in combat. So please understand when something comes up, it's because it needs resolve. It needs resolution. It needs to have light shed on the shadow parts of it and the understanding to be had with regards to what thought patterns and behaviors you were using and presenting because of what you learned and your programming, that needs to be de-gaslit so that that doesn't repeat. And then when another situation comes up that reminds you, that brings that flashback up, it's your time to practice a healthier mindset and healthier behavior, because it's a familiar scenario and you don't want to be gaslit again. You don't want to make the same mistake. So how are you going to approach it differently? How are you going to live this circumstance differently? So you have to be honest with yourself and learn how to walk yourself through each particular thing that comes up for you. Okay? Because that's a perfect opportunity to de-gaslight yourself. It's painful. So you have to remind yourself you're safe. You have to remind yourself you're not in that circumstance. And you have to remind yourself you've been through a lot and you're powerful and you can get yourself through this, but you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. The whole point of de-gaslighting is so you can do something different. Okay? It's going to require you to believe some hard things to believe, like you're worthy, you deserve it, you matter, you should be heard, you're safe. Okay? There was nothing ever fucking wrong with you at all, ever.
No.
Okay? I hope that makes sense. But please get guidance, because I think it's important to really dive into learning how to.
I love the second half of the chorus. Reboot my soul. I'm taking control. They can't change me. I'll never fold.
Yes. Yes.
When you start to gaslight yourself, when you start to hear those echoes, and you're going to, at random times, when you least expect it, you could be in the best mood and all of a sudden a trigger pops up and you're starting to gaslight yourself over something. You don't have to believe everything you think. Your thoughts aren't always going to tell you the truth. And you get to decide. You get to decide which ones you want to believe. And if it doesn't feel right, if your thought and your gut don't match, you don't have to believe it. And that's just one of the ways that you can begin to deprogram the gaslighting so it doesn't affect you as much. You can have stern conversations with yourself. I had one with myself today. I won't go into details what. But it's one of those things of, you're feeling this way. This is a lie that you're telling yourself, when here is the truth of the situation. Look at it differently.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a personal share, because this is something that I've been working on a deeper layer of that, cyclical whatever. If we don't de-gaslight ourselves, we're choosing to continue to punish ourselves, even subconsciously. We may not realize and recognize the ways in which we are punishing ourselves, because we just think like, la, 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 we're going along, we're doing great, we're healing, we're on it. So it really takes you opening yourself up to questioning every thought that comes up in your mind, every physical feeling that comes up, every emotion that you're experiencing. Unless you question everything, you're not going to be able to discern what's bad intel, what feels right. And you got to be honest with yourself. Why do I feel this way? Why am I choosing this? What is this thing? Why do I need to What ways are we continuing to punish ourselves based on the virus, the poop that's in our perfect. The poop that we learned. Right? You know, other people's opinions are none of our business. And we have to remember that we decide how we feel and we decide who we are. And there isn't anyone on the planet who can tell us what that is for us because they're not us. And so you got to degaslight the programming so you can self discover and so that you can respect yourself more deeply and nurture and care for yourself more deeply instead of saying yes to circumstances and situations that end up putting you in distress and danger, really.
And you just added another level to something that I tell people a lot, because you said that how other people feel about you is none of your business. Let me take it a step further. Don't try and work this out. How your thoughts feel about you is none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just let that one sink in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Until you degaslight yourself and you've installed the new software. And
Yeah.
those thoughts are now in alignment with who you are and how you're supposed to feel for yourself.
Right. And, you know, since it's such a metaphor about deprogramming and bug fixes, when you're dealing with software and into hardware, there's going to be things that come up that need to be debugged. So an update has to be installed. You see this all the time, and it interrupts your life when you have to have one of these installs. Okay, all right, I need to restart my computer.
Yeah.
Stop shooting on yourself for personal care. Not just you. I'm talking to.
All of them. I'm going to say everyone. Don't feel guilty. The guilt is programmed beliefs that are to destabilize you and question that you deserve to take care of yourself. Throw that, where's the mug? In the trash. Thank you. Throw that in the trash.
And, you know, Ash over in YouTube has been quietly commenting by herself the whole show. Thank you so much, Sweetness, for being here. I saw that you were able to make it. She mentioned she's been drinking too much Red Bull. Okay, well, if you're getting onto yourself for that, you're not gaslighting. You're recognizing that you're putting shite into your system. That's not gaslighting. That's, yo. I know that I'm doing this, but I continue doing it anyway.
That's a symptom of gaslighting because we end up getting things to help us feel better. And we have these little side addictions and avoidance tactics and ways of escaping. And that's all stuff that we do in order to make ourselves feel better. And that's just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. Thank you, Taylor Swift, for that line. But it's not going to work. You have to start instead deciding that you are worthy of taking care of your body, of taking care of your heart, of taking care of your mind, of nurturing what you decide you want to experience and how you want to feel. And then taking the really hard steps to heal those deep pains that all these symptoms are flying around us are covering. Right? Magic bean juice.
Magic bean
every
juice.
morning. 2 pots of espresso.
That's decaf, by the way. But that time of day. You wouldn't agree with software, I would call it brainwashing. Yes. Yes. But in order to brainwash, there has to be a level of programming. And these are keystrokes into the software.
We're all brainwashed from birth.
Yes.
And, you know,
Don Miguel Ruiz calls it the dream of the planet.
what was that?
I said Don Miguel Ruiz calls it the dream of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't read the Four Agreements, the introduction is the most important part of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually goes into more depth of the results of gaslighting, where it comes from. Even though it doesn't really even mention gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so poignant and important to understand that what you've been taught is what those people were taught, and the people before them were taught.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to upgrade as we go along. We're trying to debug deprogramming or deprogram.
Right.
And relearn. If I don't, my hero Spicy goes crazy. You got it. Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. You definitely learning how to love yourself in a way that empowers you will help you discern what needs to be degaslit, what you need to be honest with yourself about, and what you can choose differently going forward. She's
Yes. Yes, Ash, most of the I ran out of Linktree links. So the Twitch link is under Brindleizer. I will make sure that you have link for that, because that's where most of the chat happens. It's just easier for everybody to be over in Twitch.
right.
If you're just watching, it's easy in YouTube. If you're wanting to be part of the conversation, most everybody is over in Twitch.
So as a parting, because I know we're like, we got to wrap it up, but just to swing it all the way back around, I don't want folks to get caught up in what happened to them and not move past that part, because we're reinforcing the gaslighting and the programming by repeating to ourselves how we were treated and the stuff that happened to us. That's there for our information and to gather data about ourselves. But unless we're looking at it from that perspective of analyzing, okay, what was that? And what don't I like? And what do I need to do in order for that not to be? And yeah, you have to learn what healthy looks like. You do need to reprogram yourself, but what do you need? What's the software that you got to put in there? So I need you to first step away from the stories, from the perspective of believing that you deserved all that, and see it from the perspective as, fuck that shit. I don't deserve any of that. And what do I want? I want healthy. Well, what the hell does healthy look like? I don't know. I never had it modeled for me. Let me go find out. Let me go communicate with a coach. Let me go, find out what different is and what my options are, right? It's, if they ain't got your size jeans, you're going to find another pair of jeans.
Right.
You got to do the same thing with regards to the beliefs that you have about yourself. So stop hanging on to the old stories in a way that keeps you tethered and chained to the old programming, and start viewing them as data that you can use to shift into something different.
Yep. And if you need help.
That's me. HealingRose.org. I do 10 minutes for free to see if we can work together. So we kind of vet each other and test each other out and see if it's the right fit, because that's important too, for you to choose somebody who's going to be able to get you where you need to be if you're ready to make the proper changes. And that's the reality, is you will have to be sick and tired of your own BS in order to make changes. So
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?
or as I would call it, have you found your want to want?
Yes.
Because when you find your want to want, then you'll reach out. And here's how to reach out
Yes.
to me, untriggered.net. And like I announced yesterday on Brindle's Vision, from now until Christmas 2025, just for future reference, that's when this offer is available. Christmas 2025, I will be offering 25% off anybody who mentions that they saw this. Reach out to me directly. Please don't try and do it through the website, but do reach out to me directly and say that you would like to have this particular service with me, and I will give you that discount. So that's something to look forward to.
And can I just sneak in here with this book is one of the resources of what's healthier. Okay. So it's worth checking out and reading. You know, someday I'll have something too, but I don't have that now. So this is great. I can't advertise myself for that. I'm pushing Micah's book in order for you to have, well, where do I go for something healthier? Here, right here. Go for it.
And it's literally self-therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's written,
Right.
It's designed to, if you don't want to work with somebody else, I'm fine with that. If you want
can't.
to, or can't. I mean, you can get the Kindle version, the paperback version, the hardcover. They're all beautiful. Doesn't matter which one you get. And you can grab a journal, take the next 20 weeks after you get it, and just do it on your own. It's designed for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes. Okay. And if you haven't already joined Rise Awakenings over on Facebook, take a moment, scan the QR code, or click the links below and get over there, because we got some more things coming. We do have to apologize that Riff with Tiff is on hiatus until further notice. But tomorrow, Reverend Diane and I will be back with Lunaria for the core. And then and that'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Illuminate on Friday at the same time, with her giving her readings and collective to help you guys rise. So love yourselves.
Love yourselves.
And I've already decided next week's topic.
Oh, what is it?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Actually, your presence, our presence.
Our presence. Ooh, this will be interesting.
I heard it while we were talking.
I love it.
So we will see you guys tomorrow morning for the core.
Yes, 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yep. And in case you missed the opening, well,
yes,
here's Reboot My Soul one more time, and you can watch it with different eyes.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Till I couldn't find where I stopped and they began. My circuits fried under their hand. Truth was a bug they debug with lies, but I see the cracks in their alibis. I'm breaking the code they wrote in my veins, deleting the pain they hardwired in my brain. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me. I'll never fold. They compiled my fears into their scheme, replaced my voice with their machine. They said I was error, past they tried to erase. But I'm reclaiming my database. I'm breaking the code they wrote in my veins, deleting the pain they hardwired in my brain. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me. I'll never fold. I don't trust my own voice. Wasn't given a choice. Now that I am free, I don't know how to be. One day I will find a way to quiet my mind. I'm breaking the code they wrote in my veins, deleting the pain they hardwired in my brain. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me. I'll never fall. Reboot my soul, I'm taking control. They can't crash me. I'll never fold. It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune